why don't we ease our way into this? Hopefully more people come over from the LinkedIn live link. Thank you everyone for joining us for this second edition of our Marketplace Marketing Mastermind, organized by our very own Mastermind, Chris Cook. And I'm really thrilled and honored to be able to be part of this group and have the opportunity to talk with all of you today about solutioning. Chris, do you want to say a few words before I jump into my stuff?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Just so everyone's clear, this is a community thing, so we just encourage anyone who wants to get involved to jump in, talk on a topic of their passion and expertise. We're very fortunate, at the early stage, the first few has just been who has had the stones to volunteer and step forwards, and Matthew stepped up to the plate. We're very grateful for him sharing a topic that is of interest to many of us. So thanks so much, Matthew, and thanks all for being here. And for those watching on the recording, look forward to hearing your comments. I will be fielding them, so feel free to write anything that comes to mind as you go along, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to address them. I guess, Matthew, questions and answers at the end, but feel free to dig into anything as it comes up if you want. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I want today to be a interactive community discussion. There's some super smart people on this call, and I think that this topic that we're tackling today, it's something a lot of people are thinking about, and I think as an ecosystem, we're still figuring out. So certainly myself and my team, we've been doing some work around this, and I'm going to be sharing some of that with you today to hopefully equip you with some tools and strategies that will help you be successful. But I think I certainly want to know about what you guys are working on, anything that you've tried that's worked or hasn't worked, and what your thoughts are about this overall trend towards solutioning within the ecosystem. I think this is a really important topic, because it's obviously impacting both marketplace partners, but then also solution partners as well. Atlassian overall has this direction to go from just focusing on products to now building and selling solutions. That's going to enable us all to be a lot more effective and successful, in extending the platform to business teams. And I think Atlassian's counting on the ecosystem for helping to drive that growth. So it's a great opportunity, but there's a lot of challenges and things for us to figure out along the way as well. So today, talk briefly about what solutioning is and why it matters. And then it's really important to me that you guys also walk away equipped with hopefully some tools and insights that are going to be helpful for you in your solutioning journey. So I'll share with you just kind of a MVP framework that you can apply and hopefully get some value out of as you're going about your solutioning. And then I want to open this up to conversation and group discussion, group therapy, if it's needed. We'll see, but it should be a really great discussion. And some of my slides, especially around kind of like the MVP solutioning framework, I may move a little faster through, for just so that we can preserve time for discussion. But I'm happy to share this deck with anyone who wants it. Simply drop a comment in the chat and I'll DM it to you afterwards. All right. So what's all this solutioning stuff about anyways? Yeah, I think first and foremost, it's about a whole lot more than just bundling apps together. And it's kind of next level product definition stuff, the way I see it. It's really the art of defining the problem, and then strategically packaging up apps or services, and then into a solution. And then there's a whole component around pricing it, which I won't address because that's not my area of expertise, but maybe there's some others on the call who can jump into that. And then positioning it and bringing it to market. So it's a pretty big big effort, and a pretty big change that is coming to the ecosystem and is here, and some are actually already ahead of the game on it. So for those of you who were at the Atlas Camp a few weeks ago, you may recognize this slide from the ecosystem team there, sharing with partners how the marketplace is evolving. Basically going from just selling apps today to, this quarter piloting app bundles, which would be a collection of apps and maybe services. And then in the future, you including additional solutions, so services, trainings, consulting, support, and ultimately end-to-end solutions. And I think that this is a pretty exciting change because, from a customer perspective, no one's looking to buy another app. They're looking to solve a problem and get a business outcome. And so I think that this is going to enable partners within the ecosystem to take a more customer-centric, outcome-oriented approach to how we're building products and solutions and bringing them to market. So pretty exciting stuff. It's a pretty big change too that will be extremely impactful. So, we can expect that marketplace competition is going to expand exponentially. There's over 6,000 products in the market now. We're going to continue to have individual apps, but we're also going to have solutions in there too alongside those. And so more solutions. There's going to be an expanded product mix as well with services and training. I see this being more like the ServiceNow marketplace. And so ultimately, this is going to be more vendors as well as some bigger players coming in from the solution partner side. So it's definitely something that we need to be thinking about. And on top of, I think overall, we're going from a focus on transactional sales to relationship-driven, high-value solutions. And I think relationship-driven, I don't know how much we're going to be able to close that gap we have right now between ourselves and customers and end users. Probably the services and consulting component that we can bring into the solutions will help close some of that. But there's another element of relationship driven that I think we all need to be thinking about. And that's the fact that we're going to need to forge new partnerships, many of us, in order to be successful. And so I think there's hopefully this mastermind is one opportunity for us to begin doing that. And then what it looks like, the first level piloting now is bundling apps together into a solution. Next level, we'll be able to package services, so training, consulting, support, into those solutions. And then eventually the marketplace will evolve to supporting end-to-end solutions like HR service management. Did want to include an example of one company that I think is early to be on top of that, and it has built a really great solution page outlining their solution. So Devinity, marketplace partner, solution partner, they've really built up a great solution page for HR service management. And so what they've really done is an excellent job of aligning their products to potential HR use cases, from recruitment to onboarding, and then figuring out what the buyer and user personas need to accomplish in order to be successful in those areas. And so they've backed away from the products and focused on what are the outcomes that this solution delivers. And so I encourage you to go and take a look at this, because I think it's a very well-defined and well-researched solution. Not sure how much traction it's getting, but at least from a marketing perspective, I think it provides us a great reference point. So few weeks ago, I just kind of wanted to get a informal understanding of, how the ecosystem is progressing along the solutioning journey. Less than 10% of you are done, and then 75% are actively in process, either, currently defining it or planning to start soon, and then 17% not started at all. So this was an informal LinkedIn poll, obviously based on just 12 votes. We have a few more people this time around. So before we jump into the rest of this presentation, I'd just like to take a minute to rerun this poll for our audience today, so we can all see where you're at in your solutioning journey. So Yen, could you help us launch that?
Sorry, Matthew, can you make me the co-host?
Sorry, I just did it. It's okay. Okay. All right. So looks like everyone here is actively um, working on this. 33% are currently defining, and 67% are planning. So no one's completed on today's call, and no one says it's not for us, which is great. I assume that's why you're here. So thanks everyone for taking time to complete the poll. Let's see. That just closes. All right. Then I hope that this is going to be a really helpful discussion for everyone here. Want to just take a few minutes to have open discussion before I talk about a solutioning framework and potentially some actionable insights and next steps for everyone here. So wanted to just hear from the audience attendees. What do you see as the biggest opportunity or risk with this shift?
Hey Matt, hey Matthew, it's Brian with Middleware. For us, honestly, it's that we're still so early in the market, and still very much a startup and just really pulling into the Atlassian market, that we're gonna find it hard to figure out how to wrap solutioning around this while we're still trying to scale.
Okay, got it. So you've got some more immediate concerns before jumping into solutioning.
Yeah, but at the same time, we don't want to get like, as a developer, as a really developer insights and productivity platform, we don't want to, we don't want to get lost if with, I think that's what the balance is going to be, is those immediate concerns versus making sure that we don't get lost in the sauce as everybody else is launching solutions.
Mhm. Got it. Thanks, Brian. How about some of you others?
Yeah, I'm sort of glad Brian raised that, and just to build on that, I see this being much tougher for smaller vendors. Like for me, it's obvious, and it starts with the fundamentals of understanding from your customer's perspective and talking in their language. Too much bad marketing is just a list of features, right? And it's just terrible, worst practice marketing. Most people don't care, as you said, Matthew. Most people don't want an add-on. They wish Jira did it out of the box, and they're just desperately looking for that. So this is, I think, understanding marketing fundamentals and coming from your customer's perspective. But at the same point, I think for a smaller vendor, it seems like a lot of work to get started with this, and it seems a bit daunting, and it seems like a lot more marketing than just paying Google some money to advertise some keywords. And now my phone is beeping at me because it thinks I'm talking to it. No, Google, go away. I'm not talking to you, Google. Stop it. God, why is everything AI now? I hate this so much.
And then they listen to you and show you ads that you don't want. Yeah, but
Margot.
actually, yeah,
Oh, go ahead,
Margot. Yeah, ladies first. Right.
Okay, yeah, I was actually first, so no offense. Well, I see the biggest opportunity for the small players exactly, or for the niche players in collaborating with the complementary solutions with the other app vendors. So, for example, in our company, we do not want to build like tons of different apps. So we have one app for Atlassian, and we have the same very similar apps for other marketplaces, and we're not planning to have like 10 or 20 apps that would come into a specific solution package. But what would be really interesting is to understand how we can collaborate with other apps. We already do it kind of unofficially, I would say, like like a relevant customer comes to us and we refer a partner which we think would help with their app, and vice versa. But maybe it would be good to have some similar solution pages, like joint solution pages, not just for one company, but for the marketplace vendors. So this I would say is the biggest opportunity from my perspective.
Absolutely. That is a superb point, Margot. My hot take on this situation is we're reaching a point where it's going to be about partner or perish, because if solutioning really takes off and people are looking for high value solutions and business outcomes over individual apps, then you're going to have to either have a portfolio that you can bundle together, or you're going to have to partner with others in order to accomplish that solution. And so I think that there's a number of partners who have seen this coming, like AppFlyer. They've built that portfolio. They're in a great position to really thrive in this environment. And for smaller partners like that only have, a small portfolio and maybe not related apps, the best way forward is going to be to collaborate with other partners. So that's my hot take.
Yeah, and the solution partners might be even more important in the mix here than other vendors, because they are the glue that combines those apps together, and they sit in with the customers in their meetings, and they know their internal stuff more than anyone else in the ecosystem. So they will be the driver most probably for this movement. And I can come back to the Divinity example that you, Matthew, provided.
They already do this. So from the top of my mind, for example, Catworks, they have specific, like when they on their partner page, they have kind of specific tabs where different directions of the solutions are featured. So if you want, for example, a solution for this, these are the partners we work on, and these are our apps. Sorry, my throat is not very good today. And the solution for another thing, like here are our partners and here are our apps blended together. So yeah, I guess they are earlier in this game than the app vendors already. So totally right. But yeah.
Yeah, I also think there's an opportunity actually, and I mean, this may not be the people here, but it also might be as people change and do other things. There's going to be opportunity for new pure play solution vendors that will then be able to work with marketplace vendors. So one of the things I think we have now is we do have a bunch of solution partners who also are marketplace partners, and so there might be less of an opportunity to partner with those folks because they have a contained sort of ecosystem. But and a great example of this is just like around the system of work, right? There's not I think there's probably going to be an opening for like a solution partner that's pure play services around this the system of work that then works with marketplace partners in that area. So there may be like an alternate opportunity in that other side of a solutioning side there.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
valid. Can you hear me better now? Am I loud enough? I got some complaints I was too quiet before.
Yeah, much
I hear
better.
you fine.
Good.
Much
Yeah,
better.
you're on the beach.
No, sadly not today. So yeah, I think tying together a few points that have been mentioned, it always is the main question we get asked is how to approach partners, right? How do I get partners to sell my apps? And I would say this represents the main opportunity here, not just talking to your customers, but talking the language of partners. If you do not have a solution-based offering to talk to partners about, if you're just another app with another list of features, it's very hard to get partners' attention. You have to be able to speak their language. And solution partners, they want the solution. They want to know how you fit into a chain of tools, how you integrate with them, what's the bigger story. And if you can put this together, it won't just help you win with the customers, but it'll also help you win with that bigger solution partner network.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can't wait for the solution partners to come to us, right? Because as marketplace partners, we have to forge those alliances, build the solution, and then put it ready-made into the solution partners' hands to have any chance.
Yeah, the thing is, they're already put in front of the wall as well by Atlassian, because this entire solution thing and value added to just reselling the licenses is coming to the end. If you don't provide more than just reselling products, you will have very hard times in the market, and this is what Atlassian communicates to the solution partners for like 2 years already. So we have like our common interest in finding those intersection points with them. So this is the exact value that we can provide as app vendors for the solution partners to work together. So don't just bring a customer and make him ask for a discount, but like, let's talk about what exactly do they have to accomplish with this app and the other apps and the entire Jira or Confluence, or like whatever story you have to grasp from them.
Yeah. Great point, Dima. And with that in mind, this is an amazing conversation. Let me jump into kind of the solutioning framework. Let me cover some of this content here so you guys can hopefully walk away with some strategies and tips for going about this. And then after that, we can go back into this very productive discussion. And so again, just want to give you guys hopefully some tools, depending on where you are in your journey, to help you out. There's a lot of different ways to do this with varying levels of complexity, but if you think about solutioning as ultimately being oriented around solving problems, then the first thing you have to do is figure out who you're solving that problem for. So know your customer, and admittedly, this is a big hurdle for us as marketplace partners. Next, we have to really understand their pain and define that problem. Only then are we in a position to build a great solution, and then we need to bring it to market, position it, all of that good stuff. So let me just kind of walk through each of these steps. As I mentioned, the most important starting point for us, and this is a big hurdle that we have to get over out of the gate, is knowing our customers. And here it's helpful to think about two different types of personas that we can apply to really generate an understanding of the audience. One would be the user persona. This is going to really inform the solution design, understanding what types of pain points they encounter in trying to get their job done. And so you could think about the user persona as a service desk agent who's handling 50 requests a day, 50 tickets a day. And then the other persona type to think about is buyer personas. And this is going to be more important in building our positioning and go-to-market strategy. And so you might think of this as the IT manager at a mid-market company who's using Jira to streamline service requests. And so each of those persona types is going to give us different insights into both how to build the solution as well as how to market it and position it. And, I think we're all aware that, over the years within the marketplace, we've had the luxury of being able to get away with not knowing our customers and having very limited customer insight. And it's often not for a lack of wanting. A lot of partners that we work with and talk to, there's definitely a desire to get those customer insights, but there's some real blockers to that, particularly around getting through to the end users of the product and being blocked by your admin contact. But to be honest, I just don't think that we can accept no for an answer here anymore. We have to dig deeper and be more creative, because if we really believe that solutioning is going to be important to success over the long term, then we also have to understand that customer insight is going to be a competitive advantage for some partners. And so, I think as an ecosystem, we need to figure out how to derive those insights. We need to do a better job of mining our contacts, obviously evaluators and purchasers, but again, a lot of times we're running up against the Jira admin. Make more use of our support tickets and support cases as potential discovery opportunities. And then the other opportunity is really building up a marketing database of your audiences that you can start building value exchange oriented relationships, and hopefully being able to discover more about them and their needs and priorities. Communities, obviously there's the Atlassian community. I think we also need to look beyond that into what's going on in other platforms like Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, etc. Really figuring out where our audiences hang out and how we can better engage with them. Events are big, but I think the important opportunity that should be on everyone's mind is not just the Atlassian events, not just ACES, team, etc., but going to other industry and vertically oriented events as well, and having conversations there. And then private events. So I think different tours. Funman Andy, he had the Comply or Die tour that he was organizing last year amongst solution partners and partners to engage with enterprise customers. And I thought that was just a really brilliant way of being able to derive insights into that audience while also building awareness and securing, evaluations among them. So I think looking beyond just Atlassian events would be a valuable opportunity for us to get those insights. And then partners, obviously solution partners, in the lack of being able to engage directly with customers, they're one of the best resources for understand how your products are being used, what products they're being used alongside. So I think one valuable things that marketplace partners can be doing right now is talking to solution partners who are selling them and figuring out who are you implementing me alongside, because I want to go talk to that person and start thinking about, can we put together a solution together that other partners can sell. So solution partners collaborating with marketplace partners to building those solutions, as well as other consultants. So know that customer. Once we know who our customers are, we really want to understand their pain. I really love the Jobs to be Done framework. I imagine a lot of developers here are probably familiar with this. It's extremely valuable in terms of product development and also in terms of marketing. Particularly this understanding that effectively customers are hiring a product to do a job. So we want to figure out what they're hiring it for. So there's a lot of different frameworks with varying levels of complexity to do a Jobs to be Done canvas. I like simplicity. So this is one that I really like, just being able to understand the situation. What situation is the buyer in? What's their motivation? What do they want to do? What outcome are they targeting? And then what are they currently struggling with? And so being able to go through this can really help us document and build substance around the customer's pain as we go into defining the solution. And so when it comes to building the solution, I find a solution narrative at a high level provides really great directionality, just clarifying the problem, impact, and solution. And then from there, from understanding the solution, then you can start looking at the solution stack. And obviously, you're probably starting with the core product, but then you want to look at other add-ons, both within your portfolio and possibly external to your portfolio from other partners. And so, there's obviously bundling apps there, but then what else do customers need in order to be effective with the solution? It could be training, it could be services, could be templates, or cheat sheets and guides, things like that. So thinking about the total solution, and then potentially services as well. And then after architecting the solution, you need to bring it to market and position it. I've included here an example of our lean product marketing canvas. I really love this, and our partners do as well, just because of its simplicity and helping to understand how to position, how to construct your value proposition, as well as how you can potentially attract your first customers and begin to deliver value to them. So this is a great tool potentially to use to enable your marketing teams or your partners. So these are just 4 tools to help guide you through that solutioning process. I hope they're helpful. And like I said, happy to share the slides with you afterwards, so you can dig into these, afterwards and possibly put them to use. Okay, all that said, wanted to check in with all the super smart people here, find out what other strategies or frameworks have you tried?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to start off and say one thing, which is, I know that there was the conversation about like having difficulty sometimes getting past the admin contact or something. One thing so as a very recent admin, for most of my life, the last thing I wanted to have to do was be in the middle of my marketplace partners and my customers, because all I was basically doing then became a ticket Sherpa. And so I actually think that there might be a real appetite from admins for this enablement and getting them connected directly to customers, as long as the admins can be in the loop somewhere. So building out the solution to make sure that, if I've got a bunch of, I can track you as an admin contact and I can show you all of the tickets that your users have. So that makes you comfortable going letting them go directly to me, and then I can be in the loop, and then I'm catching you up regularly on what I'm learning from them. You know, that's a thing, you know, and I was thinking, actually, just having a conversation in the Atlassian community Slack about how everything at team, again, like, it's very interesting how Atlassian admins get like the smallest slice of attention at team. And we were talking about possibly putting something together specifically for admins. And that might be a great opportunity to capture them and sit down with them and hear from them what they would like from us.
Yeah, preach, Brian. Like, take care of the admin, because they are the gatekeepers. They can like block you from contacting the end users. They can block the purchase of the app altogether.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and there are, so yeah, you have to take care about them. You know, take them to dinner or something.
But they're also
yeah,
so
but
overworked. They're so overworked.
yeah, so the easier you make their job, the more grateful they will be. And you know, there are also other actors in this buying process, especially as you go up market. You have legal, you have procurement, you have all kinds of different guys who ask for different stuff. So while mapping this customer journey, which is also a crucial step in this go-to-market strategy around the solution, you should take all this into account. You know, so what does legal need to push this through as fast as possible? What questions will the procurement people ask you? What's their procedure actually? What's their checklist that they go through for vendor management? So it's much more than just end users or maybe the decision makers. You know, someone from IT most probably. So yeah, it's more complicated than that. But the admins, yeah, it's a crucial role and it's highly undervalued. I agree with that.
Anyone else have any other strategies or frameworks that you've used for solutioning? James?
Hi guys. Yeah, I wouldn't put myself in the same camp as the as you said, Matthew, the other intelligent people in the room, but I can give a shot. At the moment, what I'm trying to do is use every interaction I can with customers who have either cancelled or stopped their trial, or they're just not interested. You know, they're cold leads who aren't interested. Use that as an opportunity to find out more. Don't just see that as the end of the road with a conversation with them. Use that as an opportunity to find out more problems, more pain points. Because yeah, if you've already started the interaction, that's the hardest part. And if you've got it going, then you might as well get as much as you can from that. That's what I'd say.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, even if it's a dissatisfied customer, like just give it a shot and try at least to learn why they're dissatisfied and maybe how can you improve your solution or your app. At least you will have a working relationship with someone. You know, you never know when they switch jobs, and maybe you will be a great fit in the next company of that person, you know.
Oh, for sure. I'd rather speak to the passionate, even if they're angry with our app, than the bored. It's really important. People that care enough to have an opinion are really valid assets, and those conversations where you can turn them around become your most loyal advocates and supporters.
I'm trying to go through with a bit of a fine-tooth comb at the moment with more tailor-made interactions. It's easy to automate your outreach and whatever, but if you actually spend a lot of time fostering a relationship with someone, even if, as you said, Chris, they're pissed off, it doesn't, you know, it's not the end of the world, because, you know, you're actually finding more information about them, their company, their pain points. So
Also, just to be clear on what you're trying to find out there for people, like I've been going through positioning. This was Laura at Seabrook Media's recommendation, April Dunford. And I think often the customers who churn the hardest are ones that thought your app did one thing or came to you because they were trying to solve a certain problem, and then they found out that in fact, no, not. Okay, so is my messaging wrong? Is my messaging off? Because you can be creating bad marketing funnels that go nowhere and wasting a lot of time if you're attracting the wrong kind of fish with the wrong kind of bait. Margot's had her hand up patiently for a while though. So.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. So there is one more interesting observation. Sometimes you have an idea of what your customer should look like, what should they do, what does it look like when they are using your product successfully. But sometimes there are very interesting surprises in those who are not. So I would share some story from our experience. We are very niche. I'm from Obot. We are doing OKR app for Jira, Confluence, Salesforce, Monday, and a lot of other marketplaces. But we are kind of solely focused on OKRs, objectives, and key results framework. And when I was doing customer interviews, what I noticed is that a lot of customers were doing OKRs wrong from my perspective and from what I know. And I was thinking like, why are so many people doing that wrong? They are doing the wrong OKRs. We need to educate them. We need to teach them. We need to help them. After a couple of interviews, what really surprised me, these customers were absolutely happy. They were doing absolutely wrong OKRs, not about the framework, but absolutely happy and saying, oh, we've seen such great results. We've got alignment. We've got productivity. I was sitting like thinking, but you're doing it wrong. How could that be? And then after a while, we realized that though we call ourselves a tool for OKRs, customers are using it like for a broader strategy execution and planning tool. So they outline their key strategic goals even without the framework, connect to their projects. And of course, they're not using it like strictly with the framework, but it opened our eyes on more use cases, on more universal, more generic use cases, and brought us to kind of rethinking our positioning and our place in the system. Because again, initial thought, why are those customers doing everything wrong? we need to tell them to stop. And then realizing that this is a great opportunity, actually. They brought us themselves to this opportunity. So yeah, you now know what you will learn from the conversation with the customer.
Yeah. Margot, can I ask you, how are you getting those conversations with customers?
Oh, this is a good place for a promo, because actually we will be having a next session on how marketers can build connections with customers. But yeah, I can share a couple of tips that work for us. So, for example, it's not very common for marketers to do demo sessions, but sometimes I do them and I find it very helpful. So, for example, I'm not doing it a lot, just a handful of them, and I'm having customers which I'm leading, like as a customer success manager, I would say, not as a marketer. But this is so helpful. This helps me understand their context, understand real life use cases, and opens my eyes a lot. I also I use LinkedIn. I try to meet with them at the events. I also reach out proactively when we are planning to go for the event. So we do a newsletter for specific customers in specific region, even if it's a small Atlassian community event, like, hey guys, we are going to be there. Would you like to meet? If not for events, sometimes if people answer and say like, we would love to meet you, but we cannot, I offer to go and grab a coffee together and talk. So there are a lot of different things. I guess I would provide more structured information next time. And I would also have awesome awesome guys from Catworks, Mateos and Sando, who was like from Everead and now Catworks, who would also share their experience. So I won't speak to for too long right now, I guess.
That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to your talk at the next event.
Thank you.
Marco, that was really great. I was just saying, I mean, so right, I wear 42 hats. I'm also an eighth leader. And so I took advantage of the opportunity, and like Middleware is sponsoring all of HLA's events through Team. So it's not once, but they're going to hear about the people who are coming to our events are going to hear about Middleware over and over and over again. And just that opportunity to build. We all know that the cycle for especially with solutions, that's one of the things with solutioning, the sales cycle is longer.
It is.
And that's something that's, I think, important to know about. And that means you need to stay connected to your customer more. And so the opportunity to get to know them at events is like so crucial. And like I said, especially here in LA, everything costs an arm and a leg. So we can always use more sponsors. And that's an excellent opportunity for sponsors, like for partners who are creating a partnership together to sponsor together. So it's cheaper for everybody.
Yeah. About the events, I'm not that experienced with them, so we've been on a handful of them, but I'm not completely sure. Like I'm having a feeling that there are more sponsors and partners that actual customers recently. So it's kind of a I'm not.
Yeah, you have
I'm
to
not
build that. That is true. Like I found at our last event, I think we probably had a 75%, 25% breakdown, which was pretty good. For the events before that, it was definitely more, but it took a while to get going. The thing you can do more than anything, I will say, is find aces that need support and help them have content to do things, because their biggest problem is as volunteers is the regularity situation. And that's where you're going to build more customer attention.
Mhm. Yep, sounds reasonable.
Great stuff. All right. I have a couple more questions here, but if you guys have anything pressing you'd like to talk about, feel free to jump in. But my next question for everyone here is, what's stopping you from taking the next step in your solutioning journey today, or what's slowing you down?
I'll start then. For me, it's knowing how to conduct customer interviews well enough to sort of build this profile, build this understanding. I don't really have much experience talking to customers without trying to sell them something.
Great. Margot, what about you?
Yeah, so I think it comes to resources, because to build these packages kind of in an effective way, we need not just give a list, but we need to build a whole use cases on how a customer can use two tools together. So, for example, we have kind of open discussions in some complementary tools, and which are great, but it's difficult to build this whole path for a customer. So we can use the basic way, like how we can connect to apps is like, inside Jira using some GQL requests. And in this way, like we can partially connect two apps from different vendors together and show some value for the customer. But this is very hard. Like when you don't know a solution like fully in depth, to build that kind of offer for a broad audience, it's very hard. It's very complicated. You need to spend, I guess, a couple of days working on that, and this is hard with all the other priorities and stuff happening at least for us.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's just another cup of tea, totally, right? So Brian already said that with solutions you have longer sales cycle. You also have higher ticket. So magically stuff like that can become eligible for account-based marketing, where you really need to research each customer one by one and have enough resources to make enough touch points with them so that they have no other way out rather than to buy your solution. You know, like, yeah, bigger companies like settle dedicated teams for stuff like that. And yeah, they really can be like 4 or 5 people in one squad, like customer success, sales people, marketers, maybe someone technical who really knows the in and out of the platform, because you need to know the entire Atlassian platform in this case to be able to consult. And these squads really can work on one customer for a couple of months in a row. So this is the level of detail and granularity in your targeting that's mostly unavailable for most of the small teams on the marketplace. So yeah, this is an entirely different cup of tea to start with.
I mean, think. Oh, go ahead. No, come on, go ahead. I thought I saw you come off mute. Okay.
Yeah, Mark said that connecting with customers with not so many support tickets is a problem. So finding those
Yeah,
additional touch
yeah.
points to have a conversation.
So I actually have a question, which is, and because I don't know from the development side of the, I mean, how much are you able to see inside, like who as the customer, like who is using the app? Do we have a way to know like which user is using the app inside of like can we instrument to that level?
Great question. I know that, so a coil, are you familiar with a coil? Peter Preston
I've
is
heard of a
running.
coil, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not here because it's 2 a.m. now, 3 a.m. for him today. But this is something that a coil is working on, is being able to connect that to actual users. But there are some challenges around Atlassian's own policies around data egress, etc. But it is something that the team is working on and thinking through potential solutions.
And part of that is like, and I was thinking about the way that we operate. So again, like we don't just work with Jira, but we also work with UTrack, and we're going to be building out ADO because our large part is connecting into those ticketing systems. But we get that data pretty easily, but that's partially because we're not building fully an app inside of, like, it's not a native app, right? It's the benefit of having a platform that you're then pulling into. And it sounds like, Margot, you guys are doing a lot of the same things there because you're working with a lot of different tools. But I'm also really interested. I know that personally, the native app experience is something that customers also really value. I think that's one of the benefits of being in the cloud now, is that it's much easier to build an app that is part of a platform than just necessarily natively inside of the solution, because it's all Node, it's all JavaScript all the way down.
Right.
I just want to add, I don't know if this was already mentioned, but Atlassian is also bringing app bundles in the marketplace. So I think this will really help us get it started. Many of us were totally lost on this topic. So yeah, just wanted
I'll move this chair over.
May I add something? in our case, the solutioning should include also the products from another marketplace partners, just for the integration to the third parties, for example. And also means that we are crossing the borders from the Atlassian ecosystems. As probably you see on my background, we tried something like this. We are facing with our products to make some solutioning together with also the Atlassian, so the GSM, like with the StableNet as a service and the network monitoring tools, and the geodata insight, for the facility and for, let's say, field service management solution. This is something. So there is so many, let's say, third party across the Atlassian ecosystems. You have to integrate, but and it should evolve somehow to support the third party tools which are outside the service management, the Atlassian ecosystems. I was in discussion with the guys from Atlassian also. They are not willing to invest into such a integration, or let's say, how to say, the connectors to the third parties. Nevertheless, the value chain is fully understandable, and they got the coming from the network management through the service management, through the assets, enriching the tickets with everything, placing it on the map, and sending based on the prioritization of the geographical data to the field technicians, or to either the technicians, either the sales. We have such a use cases, but it is something which somebody has to invest a lot to the integration of the third parties to GSM itself to integrate, and then the chain can follow. And the discussion with the Atlassian was not successful within let's say to enrich their interoperability or accessibility from third parties. That's my personal, let's say, experience. I was on a StableNet as the event in Germany last autumn, also with the guys from the Atlassian. But this is something which needs. Probably you have some customers in portfolio from the telco, IT, or the municipality, something which is related to the let's say outside infrastructure which needs to be managed. This is something. So this is also, let's say, for our, we are still on a startup size from the product's point of view. So this is something which holding us back, not because we are not able to invest, and we don't want to cover the task who is responsible, somebody else.
Got it. Some real challenges there. And I'm hearing there's all kinds of challenges in making this journey, solutioning journey from technical to customer insights, and hurdles that we need to figure out how to overcome. Margaret, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so I wanted to share one observation. So Ivan mentioned that you're also like entering other tools, other kind of marketplace and solutions and stuff like that. So what I noticed is that some of the Atlassian solution partners are very cautious when you mention this to them. And like, for example, in our instance, we have customers in different teams, and it often happens that engineering teams in a company works in Atlassian and sales team work in Salesforce. Like it happens sometimes that salespeople work in Jira, but not really very often. And then when you talk to solution partners, and when I was first trying to present it as a benefit, like you connect everyone together, they said like, oh no, we don't want to connect everyone together. We want to bring all the teams inside that Atlassian ecosystem because this is where we specialize. So this is just a note. So if we are talking to solution partners, from my experience, the majority of them, they don't want to hear very much about all the other ecosystems. They want to like specialize on Atlassian, bring more people, get more licenses, and so on. Do not lead people outside the ecosystem. So just be cautious where do you mention it and to whom you promote.
That's weird, actually. Yeah, many solution partners start diversifying their portfolio as well and start partnering with other platforms right now. But maybe just there's no overlap between your strategy as a vendor and their strategy as a solution partner. That happens, but
no, it's not about not wanting to promote a product. It's about a specific feature that like connecting other teams on other platforms. So they are top priorities. Like I heard a lot of it that their top priority is to bring all their customers inside the Atlassian ecosystem.
yeah,
So
but
again,
like that's wishful thinking. Let's put it straight, right? So no one will drop Salesforce just because someone wants them to use Atlassian. Like
Well, I
Atlassian,
wanted to say,
yeah, Atlassian
consider
themselves
that this
admit
is the
that, yeah.
this is the
Yeah.
this is the ServiceNow strategy, right? This is the ServiceNow strategy, and that's who they're up against now. So they're probably experimenting and trying to figure out what's going to work most effectively. Because I mean, the system of work, which is the big thing now, works best if everybody's in the solutions. And I think that they're probably, I would expect that some of the solution partners are feeling a little bit schizophrenic right now.
Yeah,
And it's not the best
Atlassian
word to
too.
use, but a little bit split. Yeah.
Atlassian
Oh,
is schizophrenic too. I've heard Atlassian a year ago, 2 years ago, saying how the strategy isn't to try and get everyone on Atlassian because the big companies like using multiple tools, right? And it's understanding that. Look, when I was at Adaptivist, they made us use Jira as a CRM on the sales team, and it was such a
Oh.
bad experience. I once had a big enterprise customer reach out to me and ask us to, oh, we heard you use Jira as a CRM. Would you set that up for us? And I just said no, and no bid the deal. Because I was like, I cannot in good conscience recommend Jira as a Salesforce replacement. Sorry.
We had one at Divinity as well. I know this pain, yeah.
I mean, but I can't figure out Salesforce. It's so confusing.
Yeah, but now, like, continuing this topic, like suddenly Atlassian now tells they want to be for everyone and introduce the system of work, and they want to integrate all the departments into a comprehensive system, and they're not the only ones, because Monday.com does the same thing with their work OS, and even Slack has ambitions like that with introducing like simplified Jira or simplified Confluence type features. So, like
Monday CRM looks actually good though, right?
Yeah, for simple teams, that don't require, like tons of stuff, and not enterprise. Monday CRM is pretty good.
Well, this is actually the thing that just this made me think of is know the size of the market you want to go after in terms of the customer. Because, for example, you can get a customer that's 250 to 1,000 employees all in Atlassian. You're not going to get one probably with 5,000 employees all in Atlassian, unless Atlassian is like co-selling with you.
And to bring that back on track, I think size, both of the vendor and the target customer, is really important to this discussion. Sometimes an app is just a feature, and you can take a lot of time talking about the bigger picture, but really, I advise, sometimes the advice is you haven't built an app, you built a feature that Jira should have done, right? So, and you could overcomplicate that sales process. That sales process should be just say what it does on the tin. Some marketing campaigns are just, we do this for this, and that's it. And all our learning and all our MBAs don't help that. So for some people, it's not a complex solution. For a lot of people, it is, and you need to understand your users and what they're doing, and not just make yourself a feature. Especially because the apps that are just features seem to be dying. That seems to be the path that we had in Brussels at the latest Atlassian event.
Or being killed.
Like, yeah, that's just a part of a natural process. You know, like when you start growing and start making more features or making more apps within your portfolio, then you will most probably have more feedback from your customers and maybe start collecting ideas how to connect those together. So you can naturally grow from a feature to a solution. Is
All
that
right,
the
guys.
point of our meeting?
Yeah, we are beautifully hitting for
Yes.
time as always.
Yes. Oh, what an amazing conversation.
Somebody
Oh.
mentioned System of Work by Atlassian. I don't remember who was. Chris, who was? Or somebody.
It's me. It's me. Yeah.
2 weeks ago, there was a AC meeting in Prague. Jana Kunakbayeva from Atlassian joined and showed us how the Atlassian is approaching the, let's say, system of work, the company. This is 2005 or 2004 approach. We have these pictures and targeting customers since 2018. Yeah, this is our own picture. So they are a little bit behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking about the. Every organization should use different Atlassian products, but yeah, we're trying to approach all the organization units, and this was our concept. We evolve it within the enterprises, and it really works.
Fantastic.
Internal networking and internal somehow spreading of information and knowledge, and somehow spreading the knowledge help also to spare on a legacy OPEX driven tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. This has been an amazing conversation. I'm looking forward to continuing it on LinkedIn, in Anaheim. Anyone who wants to chat more, feel free to reach out to me. And definitely take a look at our upcoming Ignite virtual conference in May. I'll be talking more about solutioning and probably sharing one of our customer solutioning journeys as well, just to kind of provide something to wrap our heads around. And so that'll be coming up in May. Check out our website for that, or keep an eye on our socials. And again, appreciate you guys joining us. I am really looking forward to Margot's next talk as well. I think this will be really great insight for all of us who needs to bridge that gap to actually reaching customers. And that's an important step for us advancing on our journey.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much, Matthew. Thank you much, everyone, for getting engaged, your questions, comments, and a lively discussion as usual. Bit of a tangent, but a few people approached us and said that we need a bit more diversity in our lineup, that the first event was a bit white male. I think that's fair, that's valid, it was. But I will remind you that, it's different to having this problem at your company or HR. This is the team of volunteers, and the people that stepped forward first just happen to be entitled white men. That's the way the world works, I'm afraid. But everyone's welcome, as I hope we feel from today's talk. So like it really is an open door. There's no hiring policy here preventing anyone from getting involved. And so hopefully, we all just feel welcome. And I also would like to hear from multiple voices. So thanks very much for that feedback, guys. Keep it coming. Love
Yeah,
your
that's actually, I just would say that's really, I would love, and I mean, we should probably do some like intentional outreach to some of the African groups, because there's so much happening in Africa and India right now. Actually, I can probably talk to my boss and see if you'd want to come on.
That'd be awesome, mate.
Or we could get,
very welcome.
I'd love that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's what we need as a team of volunteers. Like it's valid criticism, but if you have those networks and connections, please do. I work with loads of women in marketing, but they're just tired of my shit, so I don't want to bother them anymore.
Just like you said, Chris.
Excellent.
Either hate or love. You're notorious for polarizing people.
I'm all love, baby. You just need to get to know me better, all right? And make a bold first impression. If you stick around, you get to know me. All right. Thanks, everyone, so much. Such a pleasure. I'm going to go to bed. It's very late. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Right.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Bye. Thank you.
See you.